What's up, man? Thanks for coming to the podcast.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Long walk for you, right?
A little bit.
A little adventure, right? Well, with this cold weather out here, any walks, I went and put the mail out right now. It's freezing. I had to get back inside.
Yeah, it's Riverside cold weather.
Dude, it's like it only happens a few weeks a year, but it's already enough for me. So, what's going on, man? Why don't you tell everyone who you are?
All right, my name is Jessie Amaro. I'm the owner of Love Amaro Pizzeria. It's a 100% vegan pizzeria. We do pop-ups, curbside pickups, events, caterings. And this is my 5th year being open. And within that year, we got best of 2001 of Alley Times for Inland Empire and San Miguel Valley. I compete at the International Pizza Expo in Las Vegas. That's for like all the goats and all the great.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Dang.
And I do it about like 5 times a week, 6 times a week sometimes. My goal is to become one of the best pizza guys out there.
With vegan or just in general?
It's vegan, but it's I compete as a pizzeria.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, just as
straight up.
Just straight up.
Yeah. What made you get into it, man?
Honestly, I've been a chef since I was a very young age. I started cooking when I was like 17. Went to culinary school here in Riverside.
Okay. RCC or no?
Yeah, RCC.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then I went to we took a field trip to Mission Inn. And when I walked in there, I just like, I have to work here. Like, I have to work here.
Uh-huh.
So I just went, just lied and said I had interviews. I didn't have interviews.
Yeah.
And just went. And then once I got into that world, I just loved it. I loved everything about it. Long story short, I got married, have 2 kids, Jaden and Gianna Amaro. And then I got divorced. And I knew with the life I live as a chef, as a banquet chef especially, you really don't have days off. Like, you're working all the freaking time.
Oh, yeah.
It's like 12, 16-hour shifts. So I was like, man, I'm never going to see my kids. They're never going to see me. Like, this is going to suck.
This show is sponsored by Resilient Real Estate Group, powered by EXP. So, you're thinking about buying and selling soon? Yes, we know you probably know a realtor, your mom's best friend's cousin's neighbor, puts her face on the local shopping cart. But you know what? Our friends at Resilient Real Estate Group have helped hundreds of thousands of people sell houses over the years, and they definitely know what they're doing based on their 5-star review on Google and Zillow. So it doesn't matter if you're looking to buy $1 million house or a fixer-upper, make sure the next time you're thinking about buying and selling real estate, you give our friends a call over at Resilient Real Estate Group. And now we're back to the show.
And I really love enjoying spending my time with my 2 kids. So I just thought, okay, I have skills, I understand stuff. Like, I've been in positions where people just taught me a lot of great stuff, and I just need to put that into practice and just go for it. So I thought of one time, like, all right, when I was happy, like, when was that?
Yeah.
And the time of the 2008 crisis when everything crashed, as a chef, like, in the kitchen world, like, you're kind of the first to lose your jobs because no one's spending money now to go eat and celebrating and so on and so forth. So me and my wife, we both got laid off. It was like very hard times. And the money I had left over, I spent it on an ice cream truck. I got like ice cream stuff in there. And then I thought, like, okay, with this ice cream truck, I could promote like a catering business and sell like tacos and do like stuff for your backyard because I'm seeing a bunch of people. Yeah. So I found a truck for like super cheap and started running that. And I remember I just loved it. Like, I remember just loved like all these kids would just run to my car and just be like, yeah. And like you just see like their genuine smile and their genuine happiness, like, to see you. Like, that was a super joy.
That's actually pretty hard as a chef. I've never thought about this. Is that the only time you really get feedback is when someone sends something back.
Yeah.
Like, you're not like no one goes back there like, yo, crush that tonight.
Yeah,
dude.
and they might tell like the server, and then they tip the server, right? It's like, but they didn't do everything. They just took your order.
I know, right?
We were here from the morning, like, making sure all this was perfect and like exactly, and everything's safe for you guys. So that it was enjoyment, like that, seeing that, and then from that, I got a lot of like caterings from that because people were like, oh, you do catering? I have a birthday party. I'm like, oh, I can do this, I can do that. And then to actually go to people's houses and not be inside like a kitchen and see everyone happy that they're just so happy that you're there.
That you're there.
Yeah.
They don't take you for granted. It's like out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, like, dude, like,
they have no idea how it gets made. It's just like, oh, my food's here.
Yeah, so like I remember like, all right, that was super enjoyable for me. And I love working in the kitchen because it's structured and you get to work with like very like smart people and you get to feed off them and all that stuff. But I just thought like, hey, like that's when I was happy. So I was like, all right, I gotta obviously do something for myself. So I just typed in the computer, what's the top 3 foods in America? It was hot dogs, hamburgers, and pizza. And I was like, all right, I don't want to do hot dogs, I don't want to do hamburgers. So you can be creative, but it's just.
Well, it's like, what was that place called on University? Something Dog. What was that place called? That the old their new Romano's is that now? What was that dog something? Dog, hot dog, not hot dog.
I don't know.
Whatever the dog place was, it was straight hot dogs.
Yeah.
And like it lasted like 3 months. Like,
and then done.
Sooner or later, like people get tired of hot dogs.
Because like you have to be creative, but it's like a certain point. And I just thought like, all right, pizza. everybody loves pizza. Even around the world, they love pizza,
Everyone
right?
loves pizza.
I was like, all right, and it's gonna be super cheap on food costs because if I learn how to make bread, that brings my food costs way down. So buying like the burger buns, the burger like blah blah, all this stuff. So I thought, okay, I also want to be like a farmer market like pizzeria. So then I'll use like the stuff that's available at farmer markets and like implement it on like my pizzas. And then I'll go get like pepperoni, like a really good one, and then like go to a deli and have them slice it, so it's like super like just nice. And then I just kind of went off that like for a little bit, and then I had like these I had this strong like vegan protester come to me and just like, your name is Love. And I was like, yeah, my name is Love Amaro Pizzeria. And she's like, why are you not vegan? It's like, dude, look, I'm a chef, okay? Like, I feed everybody. Okay? I have gluten-free, I got vegan, I got food for everybody. And she's like, no, you don't understand. Like, you should really, really think about like going vegan. Like, lady, like, I feed everybody. Like, yeah, but you don't understand who I am.
Yeah.
And she just kept coming back and coming back. And
was she vegan?
Yeah, she was she was like G.I. Joe, like vegan. Like
she's like rocking the shirts, right?
Like just all black hair tied back.
Yeah,
like
she walks in and boom.
And I was like, all right. So then I also know a lot of things. I like watching documentaries. I like learning about like just random things you probably don't even have to know about, right? Just like that kind of weird learning. And as she's talking to me too, I was like, you understand, like when you wipe your eye, you just kill like 500 mites on your eye. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, do you live in a house that's wood? Well, that wood's alive, and when it has a ceiling and it falls, like, and like it would like nurture its ceiling and then like send like carbon down like to the roots. Like, it's all alive. Like, what are you talking about? So she was just like, what the heck? Like, and then after like maybe the third week, she was like, watch this documentary called Earthlings. I was like, cool. So I watched it. And that's just what did it. Like, I got it.
Really?
Like,
are you full vegan?
Yeah, I am.
Wow.
Yeah. After that documentary, kind of made me just like really think about it. And the documentary just showed this is what we do like with pets. This is what we do with food. This is what we do with science. This is what we do with clothing. And it just went through like the real back parts where it comes from. And it was like, like that's why they are the way they are. Like, that's why they wear their shirts. That's why they march. That's why they talk all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, I get it. And I was like, okay, if I'm going to have a pizzeria, and in my mind, right, like, I know in the past, if you really, really want something, it will come true, right? It will start happening. And sometimes when it's happening, we don't realize it's happening. And then it's like, whoa, it's way bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Right? So I thought, okay, if I'm going to have this pizzeria and I really want to become, like, the greatest I can, it's going to grow bigger than what I could consume it. So either do I want to be part of this problem, or dude, now I have like a fun task of like, I don't know how to do anything vegan. I have what the hell is that? Like pasta and grains and what is that? Like, what do you mean? So for my mind was like, all right, just change, because the devastation that it does have, it's mostly like factory farmings, right? So if you're a hunter and you do stuff, I understand, I get it. But like the factory farming thing is just, oh my God, like, it's just so devastating.
Well, the issue is we have so many people now. Yeah. It's like, how do you keep up with?
And then in America alone, like just on the top, right? And this is a statistic, is we waste 40%, right? Yeah. So think about like all the land that we use for just to raise one cattle. And then we know that
40% of it's going to be wasted.
And then that's just on top of the supermarket, right? So then when we take it home, whatever we don't eat in the scraps, that's also going into the stuff. Yeah. But what really, really hit me is coming from like a chef's point of view, is the everyday person wasn't destroying things and it's doing all this stuff, and it's a weird thing that's going on. But it's like, man, it's like in this banquet, if this party ordered for 500 people, right, and we have to make food for 500 people, and they don't eat all of it, I can't just save it and give it to the next party. Yeah. Like, we could try to give it to our cafeteria, but everyone's like, nah, dude, that was like 3 hours ago, man. That was like 8 hours ago. Like, I'm not eating this crap. So most of it has to go in the trash because we can't just serve it again. So it really made me think like, oh my God, it's us. Like, and we can't control that, because some parties we eat all that and want more food. Yeah. But there's a lot of parties where like more.
So it's well, that's why restaurants are so difficult. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, how do you balance how much you order and how much you're gonna spend? You know what I mean? Like, people in Southern California don't know how it is in like small towns where I used to work a lot. Like, you used to go to a restaurant on Sunday, and the first thing they say, we don't have this, and they have this. Like, why? We had a really busy Friday and Saturday, and we just ran out of food.
And we killed it.
Yeah, we crushed it. So this is all we have. I mean, I've been in places where they're like, we're closed. Why? We don't have any more food. Yeah. Like, people in Southern California don't process the balance of like having to order how much, waste, what's not being used, because food only has so much life in it, and it's like every time you're throwing something away, you're throwing money away.
Yeah, a lot of it.
A lot of it. Yeah. So where do you cook at?
So what I do is I cook out of my tent, and so I do like breweries, cannabis shops, farm markets, events, caterings, and I kind of just stay busy doing that. I'm definitely looking for a restaurant, but geez, it's so crazy. Like, to get say if I had something else like a Chinese restaurant, a Mexican restaurant, it would be easy to move into a restaurant because it's already set up that way to do any of those things.
Yeah.
But since it's a pizzeria, I have to move in and then change that into a
What
pizzeria.
about the place right here with old Brickwood? No, what was that place called?
It was Fire Pizza.
Fire Pizza, whatever. That place was good.
All right, that place would have been so perfect. So
that place was. I can't believe that place went out of business.
And the story is, he just walked
away.
Yeah, he just
went like this, like
I'm retired. I don't want to do no more.
Dude,
like,
that place was fire.
Yeah, it was a nice little location. I used to go there.
Yeah.
So I went there, told him at that time I had a good amount saving, had money, and I had told him, hey, this is something I want to purchase, so blah blah. I already have a following, have a good following, and I'll be crazy like busy as soon as I open. And then you're already a pizzeria, so it's already
easy.
Yeah, it's turnkey. It's
you walk because they do fire and all that. Yeah, it's right there. It's perfect.
And it's like when the guy closed, he didn't close because he was doing bad business. He just walked away, so that walk-in still works.
Oh yeah,
like all this stuff still works. Like. And they're like, well, in your bank account, we want to see that you have $50,000 to $60,000 that's reoccurring every month for the last 3 years. Like, what the heck? Like, like I work at a farmer market. Like, there's no way I could generate that much money in a month.
But what's mind blowing to me, because I'm in the real estate world, obviously, is like, but that place is sitting vacant. It's like they would rather it sit vacant.
Yeah. I think it's for like tax purposes.
Oh, 100%.
Like, right? Because like, why?
Like, I don't think people process that game of like stuff saying vacant. You're like, why would they not want to rent it? It's like, well, that takes a loss, which then they take as a deduction, which then saves them money on taxes, which it honestly probably won't even make them that much money if they rent it. Like, I was talking to some clients the other day. They were asking me some question even about my car. Like, oh, you bought a new car? I was like, I only bought it for tax reasons. I was like, that car saved me $25,000. How did that work? I was like, well, because of this section, that.
It's like she's over 6,000 pounds or something.
Yeah, over 6,000 pounds, whatever. And she's like, I was like, yeah, you're a W-2 employee. You're kind of screwed. I'm not going to lie. She's like, you have no, like, you know, and they're like, that's when people are like, you don't want you to buy a house. You need a tax write-off. I'm like, no, I got enough. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So that's why they wouldn't let you do it? Is that much?
That's, I swear.
God, that
I was
sucks.
like, I have the much for the down payment to get the permits, like my signs. I was like, I have enough for everything. I just don't have that.
Yeah.
Right, and to show you that for
but
the last
who
2
has
years.
that? Not too many people are gonna have that.
To me, I was like, what? That's crazy. Yeah. To my mind, I was like, that's just nuts. Because in LA, it would work. But I have 2 kids here and I'm divorced, so just to have that time to go over there,
go back and forth. Yeah.
I'm a full-time dad. Like when I
well, and the commute time is what kills me. Like
Yeah.
I moved from right down here to Rancho, and like I come here about 7:30 every morning, and it's crazy. I left today at 7. It took me 20 more minutes because of traffic. But if I leave at 6:45 in the morning, no traffic. So it's like I got to get out.
Yeah.
Because that extra time kills.
It really does.
It really does.
And it'll drain you. And
the mental drain of like hitting bumper to bumper. I like literally, I don't know how people do it every day.
Yeah. And
it's insane. So where do you cook? So do you have a kitchen that you work out of? Do you do it in your house? Like how do you?
Yeah. So I do like curbside pickups through, I have an apartment right here off of in Downtown Riverside. And people come get like pizzas and like calzones and deep dishes, and it's something I call a fat grandpa. It's like two deep dishes in one pan. For the most part, I work like in tents. So I go to like say Hangar 24.
Okay.
I'll go to like Brickwood. That's gonna be right here. I'll go to a lot of spots like in LA, Orange County sometimes. I just came back from San Diego. I do go to Las Vegas like here and there. I do really well in Las Vegas.
Oh really?
Yeah. I kind of just go everywhere. What I'm trying to do right now before a storefront even starts is I really want to expose my brand as much as possible. And when I made my logo, the idea of it was if I did this and turned around, like would I be able to like recognize it?
Got it. Right. Like so, really quick.
Yeah. So with that, I also have to put my name out there. So when I do have a storefront, the idea is we don't have to look for anyone to come through. Everyone's just waiting for me to have a storefront, right? Because now I have people that's in LA, Orange County, San Diego, Las Vegas, Riverside, all these different counties, Tecumseh, even like Northern California. That if I had a storefront, it would just come. And the idea was I could probably just do that. And then I want to go talk to a contractor, and he's like, all right, just if you want to do anything, just always think about like $300 to $600 per square foot to build out. And like, whoa, like that's crazy. Like, dude, he's like, that's not the hood system. It doesn't have a hood system, right? If you're a pizzeria, obviously you're gonna turn it into a pizzeria. The blueprints, architect, all that good stuff. And I heard this story. This other pizza guy that he opened his pizzeria, Hot Tongue Pizza, and he had this podcast, and he was talking about. My idea was like, there's a lot of Subways closing, and those are kind of easy to get. And they would have a cold front, like to have your pizza ingredients, like just get a pizza oven, put it in the back. Like that sounds so simple. So I guess he had the same idea, and he went forth and he did that in LA, like Silver Lake. And what they did, and that's different LA over there than over here, but what they made him do was tear the whole subway apart. Like take
and then redo it.
Yeah, like take off the tiles. Like what?
Yeah.
Like what's wrong with the tiles? Like
yeah.
Nope, you got to redo this to like a pizzeria. And plus, he had like a vision what he wanted. But in my mind, it's like I thought I could just bring an oven in, like, and it's like nope, you can't just.
It's honestly like it is crazy, like the things that you have to come in place to get things done. It's mind blowing to me. Like so many hoops to jump through to get anything done is insane. Like I am still blown away that I was ever able to lease this place. They should have never leased it to me. Like honestly, this place shouldn't. Like thank God it was like a mom and pop people. They should have never leased this building to me. Like I didn't have the funds. I had the money in the bank, but I didn't have like residual income.
Yeah.
Like. I was so new in the industry, and then like I guess they probably looked at it as like, well, this kid's gonna come give us money, and then has money in the bank, and he's gonna build this place out. And one, it cost me way more than I thought it was going to. So they're probably like, well, if he doesn't pay his rent, at least we have a new office, and then we can kick him out. Like I think that's what they were hoping for, to be honest. But like that was the crazy thing is like you think like, oh, our business license, or that like we're going through things right now. It's like, oh, well, your DBA wasn't filed correctly, so you got to refile your DBA now. It's like. All right.
Yeah.
So that means everything you're marketing with that DBA has to be taken down for right now. Okay. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh.
So it's like, you think like, oh, I'm just going to start a pizzeria. I'm just going to throw a pizza oven someplace and we'll be good.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way.
You know?
Now, maybe like, I think, because now like another route I'm thinking about, because it is very expensive. Like, so in that Subway, and it was just a regular size Subway. It's not a big spot. He spent about like $750,000.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, like what the heck? And he's like, what really got me in was the guy told me, I'm going to give you $26,000 and 6 months free rent. Mm-hmm. He was like, dude, that sounds like a lot of money. And I'll be open in 3 months.
Yeah.
He was like, nope. He's like, they're still get the permits even through took 6 months. Like everything took long, like a whole year and a half.
And that's the other thing. It's like, you would think like it's inside your walls, so you don't need permits, but because it's people come in there, everything has to be approved.
Yeah,
like everything.
Yeah,
the city can say yes, no, it doesn't even matter.
So one thing I know Riverside's doing, I don't know what lot it is over here, but I know they want to open a lot for food trucks to be like a permanent thing. So maybe I was thinking too, like it might just be cheaper to just go get like a container truck and turn that container truck into like a
food truck,
just literally a pizzeria inside there, and just use that too to do like concerts, like Coachella,
like pull up on people.
Yeah, just big giant things, because it just sounds like the restaurant thing just sounds like too crazy. I know the overhead's always gonna be insane. Like even my friend, he owns UCP Pizza on University, on the University Village, or I'm sorry, UPC Pizza, and he got approved. He's a pizzeria. He's been operating for the last like 2 years or so. And the health department, I know he told me a story that, the health department went and said that he needed a new hood system. He was like, why? And like, oh, because this one's outdated or whatever. Like, but this is the one you let me open with. Like, what do you mean? Like, that's not just like, oh yeah, here's just $100. Like, that's 50,000 plus. Like, just to change that, like, that's not just like easy.
And there's no like workaround. It's like, nope.
And it's like, dude, you're just a person. You're just a person who lives next door to me that's just like flipping your lid for like, what? Like, I don't even get that. Like,
well, it's so like weird. I think people realize with COVID, it was like even the most popular restaurants, like the margins are so small.
Oh my gosh.
I think that is the one mistake that anyone thinks about getting into business. They think, oh, my margins are going to be so big. They are so tight. Like, that's something even I'm starting to realize more. It's like even the people in our space that are like massive, that are doing like, their company's making $15 million a year, where you're like, whoa, $15 million. Yeah. And then it's after it's said and done, they're like, yeah, if we walk away with 20%, we're stoked.
Yeah.
What?
That's if.
Like, you know what I mean? So it's like 15 million, all this liability, all this staff, all this work to get to 15 million. And you're like, yeah, at the end of the year, we walk away with,
200,000.
Yeah, $3 million. Sweet. All that work for $3 million. And that's what agents make the mistake. They think like, oh, I'm going to make $500,000 and I'm going to walk away with $500,000. I'm like, the bigger you get, the smaller the margins get, because you got staff and this and that.
And then you're going to a whole different tax bracket.
Then you go into a whole different tax bracket. Then you start thinking about, like, that's something we're debating right now. Like, do we open another corporation for other reasons? Certain bank accounts. And were you a business mind guy in the beginning, or are you still now like more like I'm a chef who owns a business, or am I a business owner that makes pizza?
When I went into the culinary business, when I was like, how was I, like 20 or 21 or something like that, and went to culinary school, like my thought was always I want to have my own business. So every job I went to, I always try to learn everything. Like asking the servers, like, well, you know, that PO system you're working on, like, well, how do you do that? Like, what does that do?
Yeah.
All that, like, what's the numbers mean? Like, who closes out? Like, how much money you guys do make in a day? Like, how do you guys? So I always try to get those numbers, and then once I think that's what really elevated me too as a chef at a very young age. I got like my title at 23 years old, so it's like super young.
You know I can waste no time, cause I gotta keep it tight. I'm in my bag, got my eyes on the price. You know I can waste no time, cause I gotta keep it tight. I'm in my bag, got my eyes on the price. You know I can waste no time, cause I gotta keep it tight. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me.
But I didn't know anything. It's just I think I had a really good work ethic, and I just wouldn't give up. I'll just go in there and just I wouldn't even take breaks. I'll clock off my break, but just come back. Work my butt off. But I really got good once I started learning how to use Excel. So then once I started putting all the numbers in place, right? So like, okay, if all these banks are going on, right, my food cost should be, you know, no higher than like, you know, the most 30% or the best 25%, right? So then I'm like, F it, let's do 25%, and then, you know, just do the math for every single little thing. And like, all right, this is how much we're gonna spend. And now instead of having like one vendor, I'm gonna have like a bunch of vendors, so I can shop around and get like
shop
that
pricing,
price, right?
yeah.
And then with the labor too, it was like, okay, look, all this money that's coming in, my labor should be 10%, and then like run the percentage off what the revenue's coming in, and then see my percentage of my labor and say, okay, like, well, technically I only could have this many people here, you know, a cook one, it gets paid more than a cook two, so on and so forth. So then to have that strategy of like, where does everyone fit that makes everything work like in a purpose way. So I was very lucky to have that knowledge and to have that before getting the pizzeria, right? So I'm very much a numbers guy. I don't like pricing anything without knowing how much it cost me, how much it's gonna make me, right? Your better minimum is like just times it by 3, anything by 3, it's all profit, right? So I always try to do I try to be that way. So, but business guy, no, because I'm learning business now, and it's freaking hard.
It's hard.
It's so hard.
It's so hard. Like people that spend time, like I'm a salesman that opened a business. Like so now I'm like trying to get around all these business guys where I'm like, same thing, like, what's your profit and loss? I was like, I honestly don't know. And they're like, it's all right. The best part about it is that people are like, cool, same here. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know when I was at your position, I didn't know either.
Yeah.
Because that's the hard part too, when everything's moving.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, we have to spend this money, or we have to do this. It's so difficult to say no.
Yeah.
Like where you're like, oh, I need to do that.
Yeah.
Like I have to. Like, what is my options? You know what I mean? So like that's the hard part too, is that where it's like, we don't have any options. Like it has to be done.
And then like say with the pizzeria, I mean, I guess with anything, you're gonna have a really amazing week or month, and then someone's like, dude, my labor is like 60% right now. Like what the hell? Like, oh my god, I have like this staff, and it's like, oh, like I can't let them go because if I start giving them days, they're gonna leave. Like, I already trained them all that freaking money and time they train them. Like it's so you're always in this weird.
Yeah, that weird balance.
Like all right, like the food cost can never just the food cost is food cost. As long as like in it, food just keeps going up. But it's like just I could control that, right? I could control like kind of like.
Do you raise your prices as like obviously we had some inflation? So did you raise prices at all, or
what I've learned as being like a chef and like when you start getting to like resort levels, like you're expected to just produce menus like crazy. You're just really are expected, especially for banquets. Like they want so much things, so like to try to price out everything and like to like get it right, like that takes up so much time. So the best thing to do is to know the average of everything. And what I do is, okay, this pizza can be like $10 and this one's $12. And what's my most expensive pizza? And then go find that one. Okay, this is my most expensive. This is $15. They're all $15.
Yeah.
So if this margarita, you want to put onions, blah, blah, sure, absolutely, no cost.
Yeah.
You want to put this, sure, absolutely.
It just makes life so much easier.
It's so much easier.
What's the pizza place in the Food Lab? What's that place called?
I don't remember the name. Something brick and mortar. Brick
and mortar, maybe. I don't know. Brick something.
Yeah.
I get pissed. They charge me 50 cents for ranch, and I'm like, dude, just hit me with it extra on my pizza so you can give it to me for free. I was like, I order online, you then hit me with 50-cent ranch, and I'm like, I don't have cash on me, so what do you want to? I'm going to charge 50 cents.
50 cents.
Come on, give me at least one for free.
Yeah, because even like the pizzeria, like. You know, those have like, oh, I want a size of ranch or nacho cheese or pizza sauce. Like, I don't do all that because I don't want to charge you 50 cents or $1. I don't care. You change. we just put on top.
Yeah.
On top, we'll put on top. Like, no big deal.
Just,
blah, 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 blah. Like,
exactly. Just, I'd rather you put it in than charge me the 50 cents.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even think twice if my pizza was 50 cents more.
Yeah. If it was ready, just in it.
If it was already in it.
If it was just in it.
I wouldn't even think twice about it.
You just pay it.
So, everyone always says, like, the Royals are in the niches. Do you feel like that really, when you went straight vegan, you almost got that, like, cult following now, where it's like people know exactly what they get with you now?
Yeah. What I get respect from, honestly, in the beginning, was I didn't know nobody. So, right? So I didn't have a team. I didn't have cashiers. So a lot of times I'll go do these events, and all these, the vendors will have like, 4 or 5 people inside their tents, just rocking out. And then my crazy butt would just show up myself. And they're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be a crazy... Like, I have no other option.
This is it.
I have to work. If I don't work, I don't get to feed my kids and pay my bills. There is no option for me. There is no...
show up.
No wife. There is no... There's no me back home. It's just me.
Yeah.
Right? So then they would see that and just be... But I worked in resorts. We're doing... This is nothing. This is not... It's easy. But coming from a resort world, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's like... Okay, you have, like if we do an event and, like 150 people show up, that's a good amount of people because, say if everyone does buy it, that's 150 order. That's a good night, right? But in banquet world, it's like, that's just one little small party. And then there's another one for 800, there's another one for 500.
All on the same night.
All the same night.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, how many people? Like 20? Like, no, there's like 6 of us.
Yeah.
And we're just rocking this out, like just nope. And it looks nice and garnished and everything has to be perfect because you're paying like $90 a person for all this stuff, right? So everything looks beautiful. So it's like, I was just gifted that life gave me this first, and then let me have this second, right?
I agree with this statement more than anything else. We, as humans, and I don't think people realize this, in anything we do, our body will sooner or later adapt.
Yeah.
On all levels, right? Like right now, I'm training for a marathon, and like, oh my God, I ran 6 miles last night. I ran this, and like a month ago, that 6 miles would have been impossible.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, okay, all right. And it's the same thing, I think, with stress level.
Yeah.
Like people be like, how do you handle the stress? And I'm like, I'm just used to it now.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't get any easier. Your body just gets used to handling it.
Yeah.
So it's like the opposite. If you have zero stress or zero responsibility or anything, any moment in time you bring even a little bit into that table, like you, right? Like, oh my God, how are we? You're like, dude, this is nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so used to this. This is actually slower. Like,
Yeah.
I think but the problem is most people can't get over that first little like hiccup of that, like,
It's like a fear.
That fear, like, oh my God, this is so hard.
Yeah.
How am I ever going to get to this? And it's like, your body will adapt to it.
But a lot of times too, it's I think they say that, but let's take away if you have another income coming in your house.
This is different.
Let's take away if you have a support in your house as a husband or a wife, right?
Yeah.
You have like 2 or 3 kids that you got to pay for, right? And you have all these bills. Now tell me you won't do it.
Dude,
Right.
I used to have like young guys work here, like all that live with their parents, and I swore to myself I would never hire another person or bring someone into my office that lives with their parents. And they were like, why? And I go, because if you don't work, there's still food on the table. If I don't work, there's no food on the table. That's why I'm here every single day and you're not. That's it.
It's just a grind.
It is survive or not survive.
Yeah.
You're not what you're doing right now is not survival. Whatever money you make is like fun money.
Yeah.
You're not thinking, how do I keep the lights on?
Yes.
There's a different world. There's a different, like, even people are like, how do you get up? How do you show up to the office at 7:30 every single day? Like, you don't need to skip a beat. You every day. I'm like, there's no other option.
Because I'm up at 6.
Like, literally, I'm up at 5. I'm out of bed by 5:15, and I do all this, and I go to work. Yeah. Well, what else is there to do? I don't even know. Like, my girl was like, do you want to throw a Super Bowl party? I'm like, why? She's like, you don't want to... I'm like, I don't even know who's in it. What are you talking about? I have no clue. I'd rather be left alone that day. I don't want more people at my house. What are you talking about? Give me a day off.
A day off.
Give me a day off. I like Christmas. I don't even count Christmas. I've had people text me on Christmas. I got like, you get like Christmas, Super Bowl, is it 4th of July? That's about, you get 3 days off a year. And for you, you get less.
Me, I try to, because I have kids. My day is 4th of July, because that's when you get to see things blow up for free.
Yeah.
Halloween, because you get to dress up and just be silly. And then, of course, like Thanksgiving, if I'm able to like really cook for them. I do like my family's cooking. I think everyone cooks really amazingly. But like, I can't wait till like I'm the dad that I get to cook like everyone's stuff. I get to have like my kids there and like the family there, and just have like this big. I mean, this is what I did for a living forever, right? So it's
exactly.
like I love like in the chef role. That's the days I did love, because it was just like, we'll make like $75,000 on a Thanksgiving like brunch, right? Like, dude, like all these people, like there's so many people. But that's why I love that world. So like those little holidays are kind of cool for that. But like the main ones for me, it's Halloween. Has nothing to do with a spiritual thing. It's like, that's evil. Like it's not that. It's just, it's to be silly that day. And then just like, 4th of July, just see things just beautiful, like just display in the sky. I know people hate it. It's like, it's horrible to animals, and some people with PSD. Like I know, I get it, but it's
dude. My thing is in life now, whatever has happened, we can easily pick anything apart. Like, oh, this is terrible for this person. Oh, dude, just chill out. Just chill. So for you, like, when you were at the Mission Inn, I don't even know, I'm right across the street. Is the Mission just one big kitchen and you're making all the food for all the different restaurants?
So Mission Inn, in the main of the kitchen, like where Mission Inn's at, Dwayne's is at, inside there is just one big giant kitchen. So the resort kitchen, like the banquet kitchen, it's not that big. Like, there's a lot of equipment there, but everything's very tight. Like the Dwayne's line for how massive that restaurant is and how massive it gets, it's probably like this wall right here. Like,
oh, that's it?
I'm not even joking. Like, they have a big giant broiler, like this massive salamander. Like, it gets over like 1,600 degrees or something like that. It's massively huge. And you're right next to it.
And you're just baking.
Oh my God. And then, because that gets filled up, they have in the back with the banquets, when they're done, they have like 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's 6 like ovens, and all those are turned to like 500 or 550 degrees, and they're all using all that.
Just sweating.
Oh my God, like that line.
That's why the meat's salty there.
It's so nuts. That line is so, like, why is it not bigger? Like, that's so crazy. And then the Mission Inn line is a little bit more bigger. But it, like, most times they only have like 3 people working on it. Like, if they have like, oh, it's like 500 reservations today. Like, how many people are here working? Like, oh, just 3 of you. Like, what? What are you talking about? Like, that's so much things we got to do in prep. Like, geez, that's so crazy. But I think, while you were saying stress, if you accept stress and you just say, F it, I have to go through it.
You have no choice.
There's no choice. And you go through the tidal wave, you go through the storm, whatever metaphor you use for that, you come out better. You do. Because inside there, you somehow turn something on, right? That you can't turn on like normally. We're
so much stronger than we think we are.
And just go, and like, just your body just, like you said, adapts. Just, I have to go. Like, there's no, unless I'm going to quit.
Yeah,
and
there's one out. I'm walking out, or we're getting it done.
We're getting done.
Yeah.
And there's no bitching about it. Just do it.
Go time.
Because it's go time, right? Because now if I get to shine.
And no one cares. Like, the person out there only cares that the food's good.
And now.
And right now. And quick and hot.
Yep.
And exactly what they wanted.
I don't care about your day, your hangover.
I don't care about nothing over.
You got
right?
a fight.
Don't care. Get it done right now.
Yeah.
Hold on one second. Adrian, can you bring me my personal phone? I need to confirm something. My personal phone? I need to confirm something. So, like, I think that's the thing, right? Like, you were just saying before, like, oh, I'm so happy that was given to me and now that prepares. Like, for me, I was a minor league umpire for 10 years. Well, 9 technically. But so, like, it was like you would show up every single day. But it was like one of those things where you were gone for 6 months. You worked a game. You got done at 11:30. You hopped in a car. You drove 12 hours to the next city. You worked that night. No one cared where you came from. No one cares what you and your girl are fighting about. No one cares that you're sick. No one cares. Show up, do your job, and if it's not good, we're gonna let you know.
Yep.
And that was it.
Yep.
Even supervisors. I had one guy walk in. He's like, "Hey, you looked a little sluggish out there tonight. I'm on about 4 hours sleep. And we drove 12 hours last night. Yeah, I don't care.
I got it done though.
I got it done. I'm here, right? We got through it. But it was the same thing. Like, that's something. The stuff I gotta remind me is like back then. It was like, if you didn't feel like going to work, there was nothing stopping that work from coming. Yeah. The hard part is when you own your own business, you can easily be like, I'm not going to do that today. I had that moment last night, actually. I'm training for a marathon. I thought I was only supposed to run 3 miles, and it was actually 6, and it was so cold last night in Rancho, so windy. And I got done with 3, and I went to like log my information into the app, and it was like, you have 6, tonight's 6. And I was like, oh, crap. So I had like a moment like, do I just walk in the house and say, F it, the race is in 18 weeks, I should be just fine? Or I was like, nope, we're gonna hit that button, call my girl. I was like, hey, it's actually, so you don't worry, I gotta go for another 3 miles. Oh, okay. And I was like, here we go. Like, no one's watching me. Nope. No one, it literally, I could have easily walked right back in that house and no one would have known I didn't do what I was supposed to do today. Yeah. But in 18 weeks, if I do that every single week,
it'll catch up to you.
It's gonna catch.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Yep. And that's what's like owning a business. Yep. You can cut corners. Sooner or later, it catches you. And at the worst time.
There's times people will tell me, do you take time for yourself? do you blah, blah, blah? So like one time I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to just take a few days off. You know what? I'm actually going to take like a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. Right? Just to give myself a little vacation, go do actual people things. Yeah. That was the worst decision I ever freaking... I could never... Because that week messed up the whole process. And I wasn't able to catch back up because that was a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday. And it was like, oh my God, I should have never done that. Because like now I'm trying to catch back up.
And it's not worth it.
No, it's not.
It's not worth it.
What do you want to do? I want to sit on my bed, read a book, watch a little documentary, have some tea, order some pizza. That's it. Like that to me is a great day. That's an amazing day.
My parents did that too. They're like, you need to take more time. I'm like, the difference is you need days. I need 2 hours.
Yeah.
I need 2-3 hours. I don't need days.
Yeah.
Like my mind won't let me do that.
Yeah.
You just don't turn it off either.
No. And then like with this whole process, because I really want to be one of the goats, not the goat, but one of the goats of pizza. Like that's really what I'm really going to like strive for and go for. And I heard a quote once, and I don't know who it's from, but it always stuck with me. And it said, life's hard, but you get to choose your hard, right? It's hard being broke.
Dude, yeah.
But it's hard being successful.
We just pick what hard we want.
It's hard, and it's like, oh my God, doesn't matter which hard. So like,
which one do you rather have?
Yeah, it's like, all right, the hard that I have to do is just, you got to wake up every day.
Yeah.
You have to do all this stuff. Like, especially with pizza, like it's dough. Dough can be, I just can't make just dough and then start selling. Nope, this thing is like a 3-day process. Like, so it's like dough every day, all day, and then plus I have a mother yeast. So I got to constantly feed this thing, keep it alive, keep it nutrient. Like, it's like a person. Like, it really is like a little kid. Like, you got to constantly just like do it and do it and do it. And with all, like, I think I heard this speech that Arnold gave, and he was talking about like how when he was working out in his times of a weightlifter, that people in the gym just looked just miserable working out. Like they're just in there, they look pissed off, they're just mad, and they always tell me, like, how can you look so happy for? He's like, because every time I lift the weight up, it's like I'm lifting up a trophy. Yeah. Because I'm practicing winning. So like all this stuff from the Michelin to like even now, it's like I'm in a dojo. Like all I'm doing is getting like just more mastered, like just so much training. And then like some pizzerias, I know sometimes like some pizzerias, like I'm selling more pizzas in my tent than they're in their pizzas. Yeah. There's times in my tent people are waiting 3 hours to get my pizza. It's like, what the hell? That's so crazy. Like that's so mind blowing to me that people would do that. You know, because like it's in my mind, it's not just pizza, but it's just pizza. Like, right, but it's like, no, it's this pizza. Like, you don't understand what you have. Like, you have something very special.
Something great,
So it's that this time, like the experiences, like the stuff that is given to you, and I think people who take that for granted, right? Or I think because like, all right, so I don't have a girlfriend or I don't have a wife, so when I hear other vendors say, "Oh, she doesn't do anything," or "Oh, he doesn't do anything," "Oh, he really does anything," or "She," but like, do you understand if you just gave me a person with one arm, how much more I could get done? Like, just that one, even just for motivation, just for
just that great job.
Oh my God, like that's
just like food on the table when you get home.
Oh my God, just
food on the table. Dude, I'll tell you what, my girl's in the other room right now, and like that thing, like even like lunch, right? Like she brought lunch today, and like for me, it's like she has to be like, hey, we're eating lunch right now at 12. Yeah. And then it's like I walk in, lunch is ready, I eat, go straight back to work. Yeah. Just that little thing.
So much time
saved. You know what I mean? And that it's like, oh, okay, boom, boom, go back, boom. Yeah. I think that it's funny, like you said, that whole talk about like life is, and that's in downtown. It's like I see these people in downtown, homeless people, and I'm like, they're like pushing carts and this and that, and I'm like, they have to mentally be. Something's wrong with them or something. And someone's like, why? I was like, that is so much harder than what I have to do.
So much harder.
That is, anytime I'm having a hard day, that is so much harder right there. Like, and for them to choose that means something mentally is wrong. Yeah. It's just truth. It's the same thing. Like, and that's something I've had to come across is like, it's like things are always going to be screwed up. Yeah. Just get used to it. Like when you're trying to do so much, that is when things are going to go wrong, and it's just going to be. Yeah. You just got to lower your expectations on things being great, because like day in and day out, things are just, but then when you step back and you go like, wow. Yeah. That's what it is. Like, I think sometimes we forget like, oh, I need to step back for a second. Yeah. Because when you're in the grind, you're like, oh, this is late. Oh, this didn't happen there. But then when you step back, you're like, dang, okay. Like you said, like, people wait 3 hours.
I wished for all this.
I know. What's wrong with? That's the other problem people get. We're also deranged. It's like You're already doing all this. Hey, let's do this now. Why? You're already doing this. I know, but I really feel like this now. They're like, do you have time for that? Nah, probably not, but we could figure it out. Like,
done, right?
Yeah, we could get that done, right? So for you, like, has your big following come from social, word of mouth? Like,
yeah, so my big following, well, everything's done through Instagram at Love Amaro Pizzeria.
You know I can waste no time, cause I gotta keep it tight. I'm in my bag, got my eyes on the price. You know I can waste no time, cause I gotta keep it tight. I'm in my bag, got my eyes on the price. You know I can waste no time, cause I gotta keep it tight. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me. Give me the bass, give me the beat. I'm in my bag, this round is on me.
Go follow. I'm not vegan, but when I see your pizzas, I'm like, I could swing.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. Because the idea is make an insanely killer dough. Because when you go to pizza competitions, they're not really talking about the cheese. I mean, they kind of are. A little bit about the pepperoni, a little bit about the sauce. But everyone's talking about the dough.
Dough's where it's at.
The dough, who has the best dough is king. That's what it is, right? So when I first started, I didn't have a clue about pizza, right? I had to get books and read and like where did it come from, the history of it. Then when I started making it, it was getting busy and people were buying it. But I think my pizza now is like 10 times better than it was when I first started. Because now it just has some more just depth into it, more like knowledge into it. Like just different things, like reading books, like, oh, like semolina flour, like, oh, let's put that in there, but like how much to put in there? Or rice flour, like, oh, let's put that in there, but like how much to put in there? And like yeast, like how much yeast is like the right amount of yeast? And if I'm using the starter, like how much is like, because everyone's book is different. Like everyone's knowledge is different. Unless you go like New York, they have a ratio that they all kind of like use.
Follow.
And that's why it's kind of like they all kind of taste the same in a way.
Yeah, like when you go to Famous Rays, you go to every single one or whatever, they all kind of taste the same.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that same kind of ordeal, but for most things, everyone has a recipe, but it's their own way, right?
Yeah.
So it was to find out like what my dough was. If I thought, let's say if I started this off and I had a pizzeria, I don't think I would have been able to do what I'm doing now. I wouldn't be able to like develop and like find what that is. And it's even like when I mix it, like how long do I mix it for? And then like, do I put on one or do I put on two or do I put on one and two? Or like, it's even like that. That's so weird with dough.
It's such a, there's so many options. Does water matter too?
Oh, absolutely. Oh my God, water. So if you get like alkaline water number 9, I think it is. I don't know why. I don't know the science behind it, but it'll make even like your pasta more puffy.
Oh, really?
On its own. And it's so weird. But if you have your yeast and everything, it does this other puffy weird thing. So water is a weird thing with things. So you want to use really good water though.
I think people don't process water. Like a good friend of mine, his wife was really high up at Boston Beer, and so like when we go to Boston, we go to the tour and we do like the backroom stuff. Yeah. And they were saying like this recipe was like they had it, and it was up in like an attic, and they tried it and it sucked. The Boston Beer brew, like the main beer was terrible.
Yeah.
Then they moved to Boston. They used the water from Boston, and all of a sudden, boom,
tastes better.
Delicious. Like now it's a massive. The water now they only make it in Boston, and they can't do it everywhere because the water is so different all over the place that it's impossible to recreate.
Yeah,
isn't that? It's like and
that's what the same thing they say about New York, where like their pizza and like their bagels. So with mine, what I've just so far is just I get water filters, so it's just always constant the same. I have like 3-4 of them, like big jugs of them, and just keep filling them up, change the filters out. Because before I was going to water stores to try to get like different waters and like try to distill one, and they all work different. Like distill and like everything is just it's so weird how water is. And my brother, he works for the water district, and one time he was just talking to me, and he was like, you don't want water either that's like completely pure. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you don't ever want to drink water that has nothing in it. Like, why? Because water's so alive that it won't go into your body. It will strip you of all your minerals and it'll take it for itself.
Oh, really?
If you ever want to like secretly kill somebody, you give them the most purest water and just give them and they'll die. Like, you don't want to do that. So when you see like pipes like rust, it's trying to take everything out because we stripped everything out. So when we put stuff into water, that's for our tap water, it's so it doesn't do anything to your body, so it's natural. And I was like, what the heck? Like, what are you talking? He's like, yeah, this is like the stuff that we have to like learn. And they teach us to get certified. And California has the highest standards of water regulations. And
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, at least we don't, but it's so for you, like, how often are you changing what you're doing, or like have you think like, oh, I think I've made something pretty good?
Right now, I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
Right now, it's actually really, really nice. But it took me a minute to try to understand a lot of different things, and even now, like I'll try to like, what would happen if I did add a little bit like quarter more of a teaspoon of yeast.
Yeah.
What would happen if I like, and I try those little things, but like, not when I do big events because everything needs to just be perfect. So I know when it's like a slow one, I'll try to do those, and then like I have like that side that I know what I'm doing. I'll take a little piece of that one, taste it, and I'm like, oh, that kind of did this or that kind of did that, and it's like little simple, because now it's like a symphony right now. But what I'm doing now is trying to get like the notes just right. Yeah, right. So it just sounds perfect.
The question is it ever perfect? Will it ever be perfect?
I think once I have a pizzeria and then my hands are off it, then it has to stay that way.
Oh, like when you're not there, you're not doing it.
Yeah, so when it's a pizzeria, now there's staff and there's everybody, everything has to be written down. Here's a recipe, no one changes it. Everything's exact, because then it comes to food costs. So everything has to be exact. Flour, water, everything, the portions, everything has to be exact. So then it matches the prices that we're putting out. You know, if it's labor costs, you know, how many people should be here, which I see a lot of pizzerias have like a lot of people inside them. I don't know if that's they don't know. I don't know why some pizzerias have a lot of people inside them. But if it's a well-trained person in different stations, you can also cut down your labor as long as everything's like exact. Yeah. Right? So to me, it's once I give that away and say it's that, then to me that's exact. The only thing now I can start doing now is really developing like more different flavors. And on my menu right now, with everything combined, I have almost like 28 pizzas that I have that just like maybe like I want to say like 16, 17 of them are just pure creations of just like differents you've never seen before on pizzerias. Your classic ones like margarita pepperoni, but there's other ones just like the macaroni cheese or Eclipse or Dirty Mac. There's so many different ones. They're just so good.
So do you often eat pizza yourself then?
I love pizza. I really do. I and people trip out that I go other places to eat pizza. Like they just like, you don't eat your own pizza? Like, no, like I want to go sit down and enjoy myself too.
Well, that and then you too, it's like, oh, let me figure out what else is out there.
Yeah. I love eating pizza.
It's crazy actually to think how like major restaurants or like multiple restaurants or even one restaurant like that you can go in and every single time it tastes the exact same.
Yeah.
Like
it's consistency.
The consistency is like unbelievable. Yeah. And I think it's underrated where people realize like how exact it has to be every single time to make sure it's done right.
And I think the great ones, like when they do that, is they don't ever hire pizza cooks. You get hired as the lowest person in the place.
And you work your way up.
Yeah. Because that, like say if I get my own restaurant, I would have to be the first person there all the time until I train that right person. And then that person takes over. And then the thing is, like, to keep these people, you have to treat them good and then pay them good. Yeah. Right? Like, they're your bread and your butter. So if you pay these people good, you treat them good, give them what they want, right? And then just keep on the next, and you keep just developing this team. You get a really, really good team. Something I learned in banquets, my last place I was at, Colorado Springs at their Cheyenne Mountain Resort. It turned into like a Wyndham resort, so they want me to implement like a program inside the kitchen. And that was the first time I ever got like the opportunity to do that. And one of the things I wanted to do, I read this book. This chef, he has a country club in Dallas. I can't remember his name now, but he has his little book of kind of instructions, like kind of what he did. So what I did was, all right, if you're working in restaurants, those will make money. Those are allocations for resorts. Those are $1 million things, where like banquets, you're making like $20 million, right? So we have to focus everything on banquets. If you want to work restaurants, that's fine. Go work restaurants. If you want to grow, you work banquets. And if you want to start becoming a leader as a line cook or just a cook in general, your team has to vote you like employee of the month. And then once you take that, you got to take a role that now for employee events or whatever it is, you're volunteering naturally to go to all these events to show that you're committed. But we're going to give you a chance to go to the AFC, the American Federation. It's where you get certified to be as a chef. I can't remember the name right now. You go first. We'll pay for it. You have to pass the test, and you get certified. Then, of course, you work your way up to like a banquet sous, then a banquet, then so on and so forth. Yeah. So when you get to like executive sous chef, you're not supposed to become the executive, because right now you have all these titles in your hand, and you have all the certifications that you pass on your own. So now you're such a high valuable customer that you could go anywhere now to be an executive. And then this house is going to be a powerhouse to make chefs to fly everyone else, because we're such a resort. So we started implementing that inside that resort. So with the pizzeria, I would have wanted the same kind of concept. If you really want to grow this, because we want to make solid pizzerias to be everywhere. And I can't just hire people around the world, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because that starts getting complicated. You got to trust like your managers and your staff. And if you're not everywhere, you can't trust them. But if you have a hub that you're making just
everyone goes there, and then you go, hey, you're going to go there now. Yeah. The hard part about out here, I think in Riverside, I could be wrong, I'm not in this game, but like there's just not that many vegan food here, and vegan food like in Santa Monica or like it's totally different. Yeah. Because
the only things we really have here like is just our burger places, right? So Maltese, and it's very limited on their menu. Yeah, plant power. I mean, I kind of eat their breakfast a little bit. But that's not fair because the plant power is like a McDonald's, and not everyone eats McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
It just is kind of what it is. We have Plantanos, but their hours are very limited off of like Arlington. Oh, our new restaurant opened up, Roots. And that's kind of it.
That's it. You know what I mean?
And then the fire person you guys have is just me, but I'm not a restaurant.
Yeah. So that's the thing is it's like even the options are just so limited.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, I think too is like with vegan, like there's no way to like cover up bad food.
No. And that's the thing with our pizzeria is
like you have to be good. It has to be good.
You have to be good.
You have to.
And I get pissed if I go to a vegan restaurant and it's not good. I get so mad. I don't want to send my food back. I'm not a rude customer. It's just I'm never going to support you again. Because like if you're going to try to give me something, and it has to replace this. Just give me something that's amazingly tasting.
Yeah.
If you can't give me something that tastes good, and you're like, oh, that's
amazing. Good. Yeah.
Then don't give me that. Like,
well, the thing is like you're pulling me. You're trying to convert me. Okay.
Yeah.
You got one shot.
Yeah.
Like that vegan food better be fire.
Yes.
Because if I'm leaving what I got there, which is easier to get. Mm-hmm. To come to something not as good, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then
I can't do it.
Some vegan like restaurants or certain things, and I'm all for the vegan movement, 1000%. But to me, it's you really have to push it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just the way you said. If you're coming to me and then you're not getting like wow,
you gotta be wow.
Or sometimes they'll be like, oh look at this burger. It's like yeah, but in the regular world. That's just a regular burger.
Yeah.
That's just so simple. That's nothing compared to what's out there. Like you have to level yourself out there. So with my pizzeria is what I do on my page is I follow a lot of pizzerias. Like everything pizzeria, anything pizza, I'm trying to follow you. And the main reason is I don't want to copy you. I want to be so unique, so stand out that when you see my stuff, like, oh, that's Amaro's.
Yes.
Right? So not, oh, that's vegan. Oh, that's pizza. No. That's Amaro's. Mm-hmm. That's an Amaro pizza. Like hell yeah, and then go line up and get
and get it,
and blah blah blah. Right? Like when I go to like the expo, like the one thing I have compared to all of them is I'm the only 100% vegan pizzeria that's standing up, against them. And I know there's other ones. Sometimes they go, but when I compete, I think like 99.9% of them are all just pizzerias, right?
Yeah.
So to go up there and be like, dude, this dude's producing something that looks really really good and smells really good, and it looks like pizza, like what are you making? And they're all very enthused and they all come and they all kind of just like glaze. But when it comes to the judges, because my last one I have one called the hot honey, and it took the hot honey idea from the original Mike's hot honey that's in New York, and they use it everywhere, and it's I had never tasted it, but I'm assuming it's delicious. Everyone uses it. So I thought in the vegan world, like no one has this and no one has made this yet, and I'm just lucky. Again, I'm lucky that I got to go to this expo and got to see this firsthand. And let me just make my own, because I have an idea what honey tastes like. I know how to produce a honey flavor, and I'm pretty sure the spices he's using, I know what he's doing. So then I just got my own stuff, put it together, made a hot honey, and then what it is, it's sliced pepperoni. I make my own like crumble pepperoni, Italian cherry peppers, and then my pineapple. I cook it in a sweet turmeric water, take it out, and then marinate it in olive oil and a smoked paprika. And it's almost like El Pastor taco, like kind of, right? So it has this nice flavor. So once that gets all nice and charred, that hot honey goes in it, and it's just like so amazing. And so it sells a lot over here. Like people, and a lot of people don't like pineapple, but once they taste that, they're just like, oh my god, this is so good, and it is. So I was like, you know what? I don't give them that. I'll give them a big old freaking deep dish pizza. I'm gonna make that real nice. Gave it to them, and they're like, oh, he's vegan and blah blah. And they're like, oh, you're vegan, and right away, instead of just getting it and eating it like how you're supposed to, they were just like barely like picking it. I was like, what are you guys doing?
Mentally, it's like,
no, I don't want you guys to even say vegan. Like, don't even say that.
Yeah.
Like, just here's some pizza, homie. Like, eat that. Like, oh, it's good. Like, now it's vegan.
Yeah.
Like, now I can tell you that.
Now you can tell it.
Right? Like, because I don't want your mind to make you say
shift.
no.
Exactly. I think because that's the problem, is that your expectations is going into it, and especially if you've had bad vegan before, you're like, oh, I'm done.
Yep, absolutely.
Which is crap, because like I've had bad food other places, and I don't hold that against the food I go eat other places.
But what the vegan thing is, I think also it's most people are very expensive. So like more people tell me I should sell my pizza for more, so I sell them for $15. Right, but
that's a going rate.
That's a going rate. Yeah. If you look at a Neapolitan pizza, a 10-inch, that's just, and sometimes they're like $20, $19. But to me, it was, I want to be a pizzeria for the people, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to be a pizzeria that only like certain people with money could like really just afford it. I want everyone to be able to afford it. So even when I do curbside pickups, I'll offer, if you buy 3 or more, then I'll drop it down to like $10 a pizza, right? So you get more because maybe in my mind too, like you're trying to feed kids, they're home from school or something like that. So I'll have like this little deal that people will get it, and still some people only buy like one pizza and they still just get, they don't get a deal. But I really want to be that, like I want to be a pizzeria where everyone can come and eat. When I was a chef, something I wanted to do, just do it for fun, and like I didn't know how to make money off it. I really didn't want to make money off it at all. Was you could pay me $50 and then I'm gonna get some ingredients from the store, some random stuff. I'm gonna come to your house. You can follow your friends. I'm gonna just cook something and feed you guys. Or you could be like, here's all the food in my house. Come to my house to cook. Pay me $50. I'll just go and just make some stuff. Like, so you have this resort chef in your house cooking this cool, and not like just regular plates, but like go at it. Go full at it. To have like the idea. So that always kind of like stuck with me. So with the pizzeria too, like I've always had that in mind. Like I can't make it where it's crazily expensive, and maybe I should because then it could make me grow faster, but I want this to be for the people.
But then the question is, do you eliminate your following because of the price? Then what is...
Yeah, because the only reason I'm open is because of them.
Well, and then it's like, what's brand recognition for you? It's like, what's better? You have a fat line of people where all of a sudden be like, that has to be good.
Yeah.
Then... like at the end of the day, maybe you profit the same, but there's less people, or maybe you profit, but like... It's like that game. It goes back to business. It's like, what do you... And
then when you get a pizzeria, then it's like, okay, like like the price of the building, the overcost.
Yeah.
Put that in consideration. And then, all right, now the ingredients. And then I try to do like stuff like going to Cisco or US Food. And it's like, that's way expensive. Unless you're in some kind of program like a Venture or something like that. Like you're paying a lot of money to go to those places, right? And like you should be able to use those places because they come to you. But at the end of the day, it makes all your food costs go up. And like the place I use now, Restaurant Depot, everything's just way more cheaper. I just have to go there.
Yeah.
So my mind's like, if that has to bring food costs
Where's that place at?
In Colton. Well, they have a few places, but the one I go to is in Colton.
That's not that far.
It's not that far at all.
Yeah.
It's not a drive. And say if they're out something, the next one's like Walnut and Huntington Beach. And I mean, they're kind of everywhere. So they're very convenient. I just hope like whatever it is that it comes to my pass, it lets me have the price at a reasonable price. So I could just sell to everybody at a reasonable price and make everyone kind of happy. And it's also in the thought of, do I want to be a pizzeria? And again, it just comes what's available. A pizzeria where it's like, like the Domino's, you walk in real fast. It's like that. Or is this going to be a pizzeria that like you come in and you sit down and there's like a menu with pasta too.
There's
a menu with salads and like appetizers. And there's a wine menu. Like, is it going to be that kind of pizzeria? So I'm always kind of like...
limiting the direction of the company.
And I there's definitely we could have both, but it's just like when I first start out, like what do I want my mothership to be? To kind of be like, do I want that fast one? Do I train people real fast in that fast one? Or do I focus on trying to get that one that's a sit down?
See, that's what sucks for you. I think Brickwood is a great spot. It's like, it's like not huge, or it's massive, or you have huge overhead, but big enough where you can have 10 tables.
And it was a nice oven.
Oh yeah,
God, that was a nice.
That was great food, man. That was a good pizza.
Yeah,
I was very upset when that guy went out of business or quit or whatever you want to call it. So for you, next year, 2023, if in a year we're sitting here chatting, what does this year look amazing to you?
Man, right now is just really growing it. Try to use my staff as much as possible to try to grow it bigger because they have a lot of great ideas, and it feels I'm stuck in a bubble where I'm going so much, but like that's it. Like I can't go no more. Like it's I can't push more. I can't be in more markets. And my killer is like, say if I'm in a market and it's like 4 hours. That's all I get to make money is just that 4 hours. Unless like it's one that's super early in the morning, that at night I could go somewhere else, but usually it doesn't work that way. Usually it starts like at 12 or 1, so it's like right in the middle of the day. So it's trying to do that. Right now, like a business plan for like investors, people with me and invest and see like the plan that we have. And how
Shark
far
Tank or what?
Something, yeah.
Go to Shark Tank?
Shark Tank, or just, I think like this big Riverside investors that's going on what are they called? The MPG, the ones doing like all the downtown experience.
Yeah.
I know they're building.
Is that happening or what?
I don't know. Like I know they're just building everywhere. Maybe go hit them up, see if they want to do something.
The hard part is the price per square foot in downtown is so expensive. Like, I mean, it's so crazy. Like even the pricing and below the mark, I think is like $5 a square foot.
Yeah, something like that. And everything's just going to like, even this Ponderia, it's like right here, this Mexican one that just closed up. It has like a big oven, but that's it. It doesn't have no refrigerators, no nothing. And they want, what did he tell me? He wants like 3.3 million for it, something like that.
Where's that one at?
It's right across from I think the library from the back.
Oh, really?
Next to a little barbershop, the Riverside.
Oh yeah, over there.
Yeah. I was like, you want what? I was like, it doesn't have refrigerators. It has
$3 million for that.
Yeah, and I was like, there's nothing in here. Like, I mean, the parking lot's huge. Maybe like, I don't know what the hell. Like, I don't know.
Food truck might be the best way to go.
I think so, man.
Because then it's mobile. Boom. I've been seeing a lot of food trucks parked on the corner of Market and 3rd lately. That's kind of been like...
Market and 3rd?
Yeah, over by the Starbucks down there.
Oh, nice.
I've been seeing them park like 3 trucks always right there in front, which I don't know why, but that's where I've been seeing.
And I know
them.
like Riverside opened up because for the longest time, Riverside didn't allow food trucks because of our wind. And so we had like, fryers in the wind, that's like how it's wind right now.
Yeah.
So I know that, I don't know for sure they opened all the way up, but I'm pretty sure they did. And I know they're opening up a lot. I don't know when that lot's coming for food trucks. So I think the food truck would be cool. They opened a big giant another food court over there by University. Like
they did?
Those old motels, those barn-looking motels.
Oh, is that open already?
No, it's gonna be open.
That's gonna be open. Yeah.
So that's something else to look at, but it's just a money issue. That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's process is like, dude, it gets dicey, and then it's that balance line of like, do you pull out loans? Do you do business loan?
I had an idea like, all right, just pull like a different LLC.
Yeah.
Put it in a trust and just go to like, I don't know, like 15 different banks, like Federal Navy Bank, and get like a bunch of like credit cards or like $50,000, and just like, all right, we're just gonna be in debt, and like just swipe everything and just buy
and go for it,
and just buy everything and just like, we're full in. And
that's that crossroad we're at right now too. Yeah. Like literally, I opened up like 3 credit cards last week, and I'm like, things need to get done. Like we just got to do them. The money will come this summer because last year was obviously a slow year. But these things need to be done. Let me open up some credit cards with 0 interest for a year, and like let's stop stop trying to wait. Just say like screw it.
Just do it.
I mean, we've always figured it out, so we'll figure it out again, I guess. But making changes, right? Like this office leases up in October. I told her, I was like, we're leaving. They're like, why? It's like, dude, this place is $5,000 a month and it's only going up. Which that's another thing people don't get. I don't know why I have to get hit with a 3% increase every single year on my commercial leases. Like,
and my apartment does a full 5%.
Yeah, why is that?
Like, what the hell? Like, how much you guys are going up?
It should be, If
I stay here longer, it's gonna be what, $6,000 apartment?
That's what I'm saying.
So crazy.
I don't understand. Sooner there has to be a cap. Like I told these people, I'm like, why would I pay $5,000 here? I can go down the street.
It'd be like $3,000
and pay $3,000, save $25,000 a year.
Yeah.
We're gonna go down the street. I mean, I've come to terms too. Like the nice office on Main Street doesn't help the business at all. It's not an income making. Nope. It's zero money. The it's cool to be across from the Mission Inn, but that doesn't. It does not affect any of my income at all. It actually probably makes it worse because you got to find parking and festival lights and the homeless. I have to pay a higher tax because business license tax because I'm down here. So yeah, you got to make those changes, man.
Yeah,
part of the business. So appreciate you, man. Thanks. I'm definitely gonna have to try out your pizza.
Yeah, come on.
I'll swing by, order something. Because I've never had vegan pizza before. So
yeah, man, this is pretty good stuff.
It'll be delicious, I assume, because you've won some awards, but I don't think I'll go full vegan. Just so if you're holding your breath for that, I don't see that happening. But I mean, I get it. I understand why people go vegan for sure. Yeah. I've cut back on red meat a lot.
Yeah.
Just because it started,
Yeah.
And high carbs. Like if I crush a pizza before bed, I wake up hungover the next day. I'm so old, and I'm only 35. You know what I mean? I remember waking up one day, I'm like, God, I feel like I've been hit by a bus. Well, you had 8 slices of pizza last night, right before bed.
Oh yeah, I could do that all the time.
I know, right?
I really can.
Life lives. So, go follow him. Thank you for your time, man, and can't wait to see where you go, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Until next time, guys. Peace.